Welcome back, everybody. I wanted to make a little bit of a training and mindset type video for you guys today. And I want to talk about something that takes a lot of people a long time to learn, and some people just never learn it, and some people refuse to acknowledge this as the truth. But when you're training, when you're learning and perfecting new skills, just because somebody says, oh, you have to do it this way, this is the only way, this is the way, right? Doesn't mean that that is the way. For one, I've never seen The Mandalorian give a training class. I mean, that'd be really freaking cool. I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat, but I don't think he's taking students. So that joke aside, you don't have to do something just this certain way just because somebody says so. Now, there are things that are hard and fast rules, like the life safety rules for firearms, but techniques, how to do a reload, how to draw from the holster, how to move, how your stance should be, one-handed fire, all these different things. Techniques evolve over time as we study and learn and improve. We as a collective, people, a gun community, if you will, and as more experience and more knowledge gets brought into the overall community. And it also kind of changes with technology. The things that you did with revolvers, you wouldn't do with a semi-automatic pistol. Or the things that you do with an AR don't necessarily apply seamlessly to a shotgun, right? Now, some of the techniques that you use can absolutely translate. Your stance may not change very much from one to the other, but how you load the thing is probably going to change pretty significantly. That aside, even if you're talking apples to apples, let's say we're talking two Glocks. I've got a Glock, you've got a Glock, and you say that I have to do my reloads, I don't know, whatever way. I need to put a banana in the mag well before I put the magazine in, and I say no, I should probably put asparagus in the mag well first. Just examples. This is all stupid. I'm trying not to go into specifics because I'll end up going down a rabbit hole and this will be a 40-minute video. But just because somebody says this is the only way you can do this technique, if it's not safety related, that's not true. There are other ways to do things. Some people like to carry their AR mags. This is a good short example. Like to carry their AR mags with the rounds pointing forward. So if it's on the belt, they want the rounds pointing forward. And then they'll come down and they'll grab it kind of like a pistol mag and insert it. Some people like to carry their AR mags on their belt with their rounds pointing backwards so they can come down with kind of a Coke can grip to put it in the mag well. Like that visual aid there. So it just depends on, what works for you, what you're comfortable with, what you've trained to, and what you find is the most effective. Okay, again, I'm not talking safety stuff here. That is not negotiable, but there's other stuff, it is. Do you guys know, in World War II, you guys have seen Band of Brothers and the Pacific and stuff like that, I'm assuming. Do you know why they fired their handguns like this with one hand? Whereas today we fire with two hands? There's a very good reason they did it. The reason is their instructors who taught them how to fire handguns were from the World War I era. And who typically had handguns in World War I for trench warfare and stuff like that? Yeah, you get your artillery guys and your officers that weren't going to actually go outside the trench, but they still needed to carry a weapon. But it was mainly cavalry, actually. A lot of cavalry guys carried handguns. Think about it. They're small, they're repeatable without doing anything to the gun. It's not a bolt action pistol. They were effective for their time, maybe not over range, but they still worked. And they could fire them one-handed while controlling their horse. So they trained while standing on the ground to fire the pistol with one hand so they could hold on to the reins of the horse with the other hand so their horse wouldn't run away. But they didn't apply that tactic or they didn't think about that tactic as they were instructing their students for World War II. And, obviously on down the line, the guys from World War I taught the next generation up until, oh, World War II's here, I got to go shoot my pistol, I'm going to do it this way because that's how I've been taught. Nobody ever told them that you can actually put two hands on a pistol and you're going to shoot better if you do. They used the wrong tactic for the wrong situation. Another good example of this, but you've seen in movies and TV shows and video games and all over the internet, people shooting like this. Pop, 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 and it turns into one of these numbers where the pistol is higher than their head, but shooting with the handgun sideways. Here, I'll just use mine that I'm carrying here. Like this. There's nobody behind the camera if you're worried about that. Instead of upright or canted. And instead of using two hands. Why do you think that would be the case? Why would somebody think this is a good idea? Well, it's because when SWAT teams started getting formed and getting a lot of good training and, being prolific, people would see them breaking in, making entry into buildings, houses, etc., and so forth. And who's typically the first guy on an entry team? The guy with the shield. Well, they figured we kind of want the guy with the shield to still be able to shoot, but he can't exactly move the shield and have the shield over here and shoot, because now that's not effective. He's not blocking bullets coming towards him and his team. And if he comes around to the side, he's just shooting blindly. He can't see anything. He's got the viewport, but he can't use his sights to, make sure he's not hitting anybody innocent or anything like that, and to actually put a threat down. But there's a viewport on the shield. So what they would do is turn the gun sideways and put it over in front of that viewport so he could look through the viewport, line up his iron sights, and still shoot one-handed like that. But then people, civilians, took that to mean, oh, this is how I see the cops shooting, so this must be the best way to shoot. I mean, think about it. Yeah, it's more comfortable. This is more comfortable than this. And, it turned into one of those things. Again, applying the wrong tactic for the wrong situation. That's all that is. So in some situations, yes, it makes sense to shoot a handgun this way. But for the vast majority of me and you people, that was some real good English right there. For the vast majority of us, we're never going to be in a situation that it makes sense to shoot our handgun perfectly horizontally, because we don't have shields. At least I don't. I mean, I'd love to, but I don't. Don't know what I would do with it if I did, but it'd be cool to have. So yeah, those are just a couple of examples, guys, of what I'm talking about. Yes, this thing that I'm saying to do, I tell you to do whatever, may make sense in a given situation, but it may not make sense in a different situation. So that's all I really got, guys. I just want to get you guys thinking about that, and don't buy into all this internet, commando stuff of, oh, well, this is the only way to do this. This is how you have to do it, or this is the best way to do it because, I don't know, Joe Blow, awesome tactical trainer, does it this way, or they say that this is what they like, or they say you have to do it this way. That's not necessarily the case. Now, these instructors, at least the good ones, have a lot of knowledge, and they know what they're talking about. They know their craft inside and out. And they're not giving you bad advice intentionally. If they do give you bad advice, it is not intentional. Those who are professionals, who take pride in their work and understand the responsibility that they're teaching their students something that they may have to use to defend themselves or others, and they want to make sure that they give them the right information to give them the best chance of surviving a potential deadly force type situation. So those guys are not going to lead you wrong intentionally. However, there may be a situation that they aren't thinking about, haven't experienced, or that they just, even in that situation, they would still use their technique, but you have a different technique that would work better for you. So don't go around saying that, oh, you have to do this way. You can do things another way. As long as you're safe about it, as long as it's efficient and effective, then, who's to say that you're doing it incorrectly, right? That's really all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this kind of gets that thought process rolling in your brain and helps you go into any training you may be doing now or in the future with a little bit of a thought in the back of your head going, okay, I've seen this way to do this and I've seen a different way to do this. Which one's better and why? And which one may be better in this situation versus this situation, that kind of thing. This is just a brain stimulator, guys. That's all this is supposed to be. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you did like the video, please hit the like button and the subscribe button down below, and go ahead and ring the bell as well. It really does help out when you guys do that, and I appreciate it. Excuse me. Also, if you guys have any questions about any of this or anything else, or just want to chat, post something down in the comments below, and I'll talk with you guys. I'll answer any questions I can answer back and forth with you guys. Or if you'd rather, you can send me an email or go over to Instagram and send me a DM and give me a follow while you're there, please. Appreciate it. Both my Instagram and my email are in the description below as well. So thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Y'all take it easy, roll tide, and I'll see you later.